seats are so uncomfortable. We gotta get new ones next year.
Worst earthquake Nepal has seen in over 80 years. Citizens remain in a state of desperation as the death toll climbs. We have the details.
Later, the Maryland governor has declared a state of emergency. Violent protests have forced the implementation of a statewide curfew. We'll fill you in.
Plus, good news for Chipotle lovers. The chain has pledged to go GMO-free. We'll let you know why it's such a big deal. Hello, and welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update. Today is April 28th, 2015, and I'm Brooke DePalma.
And I'm Dylan Gordon. Tragedy and destruction have struck Nepal. On Saturday, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck near the city of Lamjung at around 6 in the morning. The initial seismic activity was enough to cause massive damage, the after effects only worsening the situation. Although the initial death count was thought to be around 1,500, more aftershocks and avalanches from Mount Everest brought the death toll up to upwards of 4,500 people. Rescue missions are still underway. Can you believe this earthquake?
I cannot believe it. I actually did not know about it until President Murray had emailed us.
I did get that too.
You did get that, right? And my friends and I were talking about it saying, you know, what can we do? Can we do anything? Is there something that we can do? Because I feel like it's something that everyone can relate to.
I think it would be great if we could help in any way.
I think that me and you should definitely
we should go.
Start something up on Marist
we should
College
start
campus.
Something up.
Get ready for it. Just wait to see what's going to happen next.
Absolutely.
Now, firefighters are supposed to be a beacon of safety, but one local firefighter was arrested in connection with a fire near the Duchess Rail Trail on April 15th. Nicholas Hughes, 24, of Wappinger Falls, has been charged with arson, a felony, after authorities say he set the blaze that took over 5 hours to put out. Currently, there are no known motives. Police are currently investigating if Hughes is responsible for any other local fires. Anyone with information is urged to contact local authorities. As the United States of America gets ready for the 2016 election, there are also elections occurring around the world. Dylan, do you want to take it away?
Yes. Unfortunately, other elections do not run as smoothly as they do in America. In Burundi, Africa, President Pierre Nkurunziza recently launched his bid for a third term in office. This action to take a third term in office is what led a civil war in 2005 and also was deemed as unconstitutional by many. This past Sunday, violent protesters stormed the streets in retaliation. All we can do is hope and pray that this issue will be resolved before it is too late.
A storm in Alabama turned deadly Saturday during a regatta that left 2 dead and 5 people still missing. The Fairhope Yacht Club near Mobile Bay, Alabama, was holding the regatta that had about 150 boats in participation when a sudden storm hit. Sunday, the Coast Guard rescued at least 40 people and crews, had searched 2,500 square miles of the water. The searchers continued to look into the night. One survivor, Zane Yoder, said, quote, "It hit us in literally about 30 seconds. And the next thing you know, we're getting blown over sideways." The Coast Guard is still searching for those victims and survivors.
From natural disasters at home to disasters overseas, Caitlin Olhoff is here with more on the earthquake in Nepal. Here's your weekly highs and lows report.
Thanks, Dylan. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's weather report. While recently Poughkeepsie's weather has been anything but springtime, we certainly have been luckier than those overseas. A powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 rocked mountainous Nepal last Saturday. The quake struck before noon local time about 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu in an area that the U.S. Geological Survey calls one of the most seismically hazardous regions on Earth. It was felt as far away as Pakistan, Tibet, and Bangladesh. Multiple aftershocks, including one registered at a magnitude of 6.7, followed. It will be a while before we know the full extent of the damage and the final death toll. However, at least 29 districts have been designated as crisis zones, with 4,000 dead thus far. Numerous countries around the world have pledged immediate aid and supplies. Humanitarian groups such as Red Cross, Oxfam, CARE, and Save the Children are working to provide shelter, clean water, sanitation, and emergency food supplies. Here in Poughkeepsie, however, the weather is turning around and spring is slowly creeping in. Today's temperatures were a high of 66 and a low of 53, so it was clearly the perfect day to relax outside with friends. The record high today was certainly a bit hotter than what we've been experiencing at a scorching 90 degrees, while the record low was a chilly 31 degrees. If you're an early riser, you may have caught the sunrise this morning at 5:59, or perhaps you saw the beautiful sunset at 7:49. Tonight, be excited for some warmer temperatures at 57 degrees. Even though the humidity will be at 50%, it will still be a lovely evening for you all temperature-wise. Tomorrow looks like it will be another perfect day to grab those sunglasses and sunscreen to head outside because we're expecting temperatures of 71 degrees and lots of sunshine. Later in the day, the temperature will drop to 52 degrees with 6-mile-per-hour winds, so expect another great evening to head outside and enjoy the spring. Looking at the weekly forecast, you can see that everyone should enjoy the weather early on this week because we're expecting rain later. Temperatures will stay around 60 degrees with some rain showers coming this Thursday and Friday. Thankfully, however, we can expect blue skies and sunshine this weekend with temperatures up to 70 degrees. Be sure to get those flip-flops ready because it looks like this weekend will be the perfect time for them. And that's the weekly highs and lows report. I'm Caitlin Olaf. Coming up, the touching story of a man reunited with his family, and more people mourn the death of the Baltimore citizen, Freddie Gray, after this short break.
Hey, what's up? You're gonna be the one that saves me. And after
Why should people watch the other half? Phenomenal question.
We really get down to the issues.
Oh!
Now it's trendy, it's hilarious.
It's something that every college student can relate to.
It gets very provocative.
It's really great to see what the opposite sex thinks about things.
Real men don't do that, all right? You gotta start seeing some real men.
Okay!
You know, there's some times where Rob and I have a little bit of a disagreement on subjects.
Final thought.
Oh my god. I look jacked.
No.
We do episodes on fashion, sports, text translation, first dates.
It's just an international sensation that this show is going to be sweeping the nation.
It was a fiasco.
Really, every college student in the world should be watching this show.
Low five.
No.
Yo, Drew, I got your text. What's up?
I don't know. Jake's been quoting lines from Pulp Fiction all day.
Yo, Jake, what's up?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
What are you even saying?
Say what again?
Who say what?
Does he look like a bitch?
We are literally the only two people in this room right now.
That is a tasty burger.
Do we call a doctor or something?
I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger.
Now that's a threat.
The Middle Seats, every other Thursday, only on MCTV.
Tonight, the touching story of a man united with his biological father after being abandoned for 25 years. Robin Barden was rescued from a dumpster by a police officer back in 1989. His mother left him there after having an affair with his biological father. Barden is excited to meet the 5 sisters he just found out that he has. Despite the tragic circumstances of his abandonment, Barden still forgives his mother, saying, quote, "I forgive her because she was a young woman in a very compromising position." He hopes to meet her sometime in the near future.
Saturday night, Washington, D.C. was dressed to the nines for what is affectionately referred to as Nerd Prom, better known as the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is an annual event for celebrities, politicians, and esteemed journalists to gather and, as President Obama jokingly pointed out, celebrate themselves. The night was full of laughter and mockery as host Cecily Strong poked fun at multiple media outlets, the Obama administration, and prominent public figures. Obama himself showed the world his sardonic side as he gave a politically correct version of statements that was more realistically relayed by his, quote, anger translator comedian Keegan-Michael Key. This is the 101st anniversary of the annual dinner.
Thousands gathered at a Baltimore church for Freddie Gray's funeral. Ryan Noble has more on yesterday's services.
The Swiss Postal Service has begun testing for a delivery drone service. Partnering with drone outfitter Martner, the service hopes to have the airmail service up and flying by 2019. The service's current drone carry approximately 2 pounds and can last up to 13 miles on a single charge. Implementation will make the Swiss Postal Service the first in the world to command a large fleet of mail-delivering drones. Amazon tried to implement this technology last year, but has since been halted by FFA regulation. On Friday night, ABC's former... want to take this one over?
Definitely. And on Friday night, ABC's former 2020 anchor, Diane Sawyer, interviewed former Olympian Bruce Jenner. In a highly anticipated program, in this interview watched by 17 million people, me being one, Jenner discussed his long-awaited decision to transition into a woman. Jenner is known for winning the gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Summer Olympics, but is more recently known for being married to socialite and entrepreneur Kris Jenner for 24 years, and being a part of the hit reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The reception on Twitter from his fans and family members were mostly supportive. At the end of the interview, Jenner said that this would be the last interview as a man. Can you believe it, Dylan?
I can't believe it.
I think that, honestly, it's amazing what he's doing right now.
It is pretty interesting, yeah.
I think that it just speaks volumes for all the people who are in the same predicament as him.
Exactly.
You know, and I was talking about this with my friends, and even more surprising is the feedback that he's getting and the responses.
He's getting very positive feedback. A lot of people.
Did you watch it?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I've heard a lot of good things.
I bet. It's definitely the talk. I mean, even Hulk Hogan tweeted tonight about how much he's proud of Bruce Jenner with a photo of him after he won that Olympics in 19.
That's really great.
Yeah, so it's definitely awesome what he's doing.
That is good.
And speaking of this ex-Olympian, we have more news about the sports world. Ben Hayes is here with your Week in Sports.
Thanks, guys. Yankee Stadium played the host of this weekend's Subway Series, and the Pinstripes won it 2-1. I'm Ben Hayes, here to bring you this week's Sports Jam.
It's my fault for
An A-bomb from A-Rod is a phrase that has become very well known thanks to Yankees announcer John Sterling. Sunday night, A-Rod launched his 659th A-bomb, making him just one home run away from tying San Francisco Giants great Willie Mays for fourth all-time. Although he got fooled by the pitch, Rodriguez used his incredible upper body strength to muscle the ball over the right field fence, showing yet again why A-Rod is one of the best baseball players ever. After splitting the first 2 games of the series, A-Rod's solo shot helped propel the Yankees to a 6-4 win over the Mets and reassert the Evil Empire's dominance over New York baseball. I'm a Red Sox fan, and yet I'm still secretly rooting for A-Rod to break the record. Although I guess it's not really too much of a secret now. In football news, the NFL draft is on Thursday, and all eyes are on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which hasn't really been the case for like 15 years. The big question is, will the Bucs select Florida State quarterback Jameis Winston with the #1 overall pick, or Oregon QB Marcus Mariota? My prediction is Winston. I'm sure he would be very relieved to not have to leave the great state of Florida, since as Winston has made very well aware, Florida has the best crab legs in the nation. What I am most interested in for this draft is former Georgia Bulldog running back Todd Gurley. Before last season, Gurley was projected as a top 3 pick and a Heisman favorite. Then he tore his ACL. Gurley is now in danger of not even being drafted in the first round. Personally, I am praying that Gurley somehow drops to the 32nd pick so that my reigning Super Bowl champion New England Patriots can take him, since the Pats lost their top 3 running backs to the Jets, Giants, and suspension. I mean, hey, how good would Gurley look with this logo on his helmet? Good enough for me, that's for sure. Well, that's all for this week. As always, I'm Ben Hayes. Back to you guys.
It's time to say goodbye to the shirtless Abercrombie & Fitch models that greet customers in malls across the U.S. The clothing company announced Friday that the store will no longer hire, quote, based on body type or physical attractiveness. Abercrombie is looking to make over their marketing plan, including the removal of sexualized photo ads. These changes have been designed to put more emphasis on customers and less on employee looks. CEO Michael Jeffries faced negative criticism over the past few years after making the comment about only wanting, quote, cool, good-looking people to wear his company's clothes, leading the clothing brand into a 10% drop in sales. We can expect to see these changes starting late July.
Last week, Chipotle announced they would stop serving genetically modified ingredients, making them the first major restaurant chain to completely remove GMOs from their food. Everyone's favorite Mexican fast food chain upgraded their menu, removing the potentially harmful ingredients from their tortillas, rice, chips, salsas, and marinades. Genetically modified foods are a pressing issue for the food world, and according to the USDA, about 80% of the food consumed in the U.S. is genetically modified. CEO Steve Ells says, quote, we want to make the old fast food model irrelevant. The company will continue to prove there really is a better way to do fast food. So Dylan, let me ask you, are you a burrito guy or more of a salad guy?
I love burritos. I always get burritos whenever I go to Chipotle.
Absolutely?
Absolutely. Same thing every time.
Now, I know that there's not a close Chipotle, around 20 minutes away, right?
It's like 45 minutes away. It's
45
very
minutes.
far.
I wouldn't know. Freshman problems.
It's very far, very far.
But I think that we should get a Chipotle closer to campus.
I definitely think they should build one, especially with the GMOs being removed from it. I'm going to go eat the Chipotle all the time now.
Exactly, I know. I actually heard there's a petition going on. You should definitely
I'm going to sign that petition.
Check that out.
Well, for 11 years, Grey's Anatomy has been one of the most popular drama series on television. Last week's episode had a shocking twist many fans were not happy about. And yes, this is a spoiler alert. Fans watched in horror as beloved character Dr. Derek Shepherd was killed off the show. Many fans anticipated this because Patrick Dempsey, who portrays Dr. Shepherd, did say he was leaving the show a few months ago. Fans of the show took over social media, and the hashtag Grey's Anatomy ruled Facebook and Twitter the night of and into the next day after the episode aired.
Also, the talk of Marist this week are Marist students Danny Horbiak and Nick Tormey. The two recently produced a music video to Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk. Peter Malenvenda sat down with them earlier. Check it out.
Thanks, guys. We are here with Danny Horbiak and Nick Tormey. They are students at Marist College, and they just produced this amazing video for Uptown Funk set here on the college campus. And let's say hello. What's up, guys?
Hey, Peter. Thanks for having us on your show.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
This video came out very recently, maybe about a week ago, and it's amazing. It's one of the greatest things I've seen. My Marist posted it up on the page, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, before we even get onto that, how did you guys meet and decide you were going to make this video?
Well, Nick and I were in our video production class together. We were kind of forced to be together. The teacher just put us into a project together, and we really had this chemistry right away. He's really great with the tech stuff. I'm really great with the artsy stuff. So this kid goes out and gets an amazing camera, right?
Tell me more about the camera.
Yes, it's the Sony A7S. It just came out early this year, I'm pretty sure.
Is it a DSLR, a video camera?
It looks like a DSLR. It looks exactly like a DSLR, but it's actually a mirrorless camera.
What does that mean?
Which means that there's no mirror inside of it. It's all digital, the whole camera.
Really?
And it's a full frame, which means that you get that amazing depth of field that you see, and it makes it really cinematic, and I love it.
Wow, it looked so beautiful, and the first thing I was saying was, like, what was that shot on? It was so nice. How much does that cost, if you don't mind me asking?
With the lens, it was around $3,000.
Wow, okay. So that's really a nice high end. I want one, so that's why I'm asking you.
I saved up a lot.
Good for you. It didn't take me a long time to save up for that. But producing the video, okay, so we're going to make a video, Uptown Funk, Marist. Did you do any storyboarding for this? Tell me about your production process.
For us, we decided we wanted to do a very simple video. We didn't want a lot of planning. We didn't want a lot of people. Didn't want to have to use additional lighting. So we said, we have this gorgeous campus here. Let's just go film.
And reception. They must be coming up to you. I saw 1 million people shared it on Facebook. My Marist posted it. Tell me about that.
Well, I have a lot of different classes with people that aren't a part of MCTV, but they're all coming up to me and saying, my friend showed me this. You know, people that I don't know are watching it and showing their friends, and then their friends are coming up to me. And it's absolutely amazing to see all of these people really excited about it, really proud of me, and Nick too. I know his friends are sharing it too.
Yeah.
I shared it. My mom shared it.
That was amazing.
And when my mom shares a video, that means it's a good video.
I know I've made it in life.
There's no question about that. What else is there to ask? Why Uptown Funk?
Oh, well, at the time, it was absolutely huge. It was one of those songs that if it came on while I was in the car, it was going full volume, and I was dancing the entire
you were
time.
Just dancing. And you came into the studio after one of our news shows, and you said, excuse me, we're going to do this shoot, and you're just going to have to dance. And it complimented everything so well, and I had no idea it was going to come out the way it did. I mean, I expected great things from both of you, but really, really, really taking it above and beyond what I've seen in the music video department here at Marist College. So there's really just so much talent here, and I'm so impressed with you guys.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming in and
course.
chatting about it.
Yeah.
We've got some news to talk about. It's the top 5.
These are the biggest stories in the film of the past week, and they are ranked in ascending order.
The Middle East would not exist without Roger Ebert. Considered by many to be the greatest film critic of all time, Ebert is my hero, both on the page and off it. He's the reason why I do what I want to do. Now that he's passed on, we are going to be seeing several portrayals of his life in modern cinema. The first was the 2014 acclaimed documentary, Life Itself, which was based off of Ebert's memoirs. The number 5 story tonight features a story and development of one of the more interesting chapters of Ebert's life, where he was hired by exploitation director Russ Meyer in the 1960s to create a film called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. There's much more to the story than that, as Michael Winterbottom has been tasked with telling it from a script by Chris Cluess. Will Ferrell is in talks to play Meyer, but no casting headway has been made on the role of Ebert just yet. Russ and Roger Go Beyond have no release date.
Remember how successful The Interview was? Well, what if it was based on a true story? Well, we have a movie here that kind of, sort of is in the same realm and is actually based on a true story. The film, Army of One, is about the tales of Gary Faulkner. For those who don't know, Faulkner is an American civilian who set out to capture Osama bin Laden after having a vision of God handpicking him to do so. Larry Charles, who gave us 2006's Borat, is set to direct, and a pretty star-studded cast has been announced. Nicolas Cage will play Faulkner, and the other co-stars being Russell Brand, Dennis O'Hare, Ken Marino, Paul Scheer, Wendy McLendon-Covey, and Rainn Wilson. The film was reported to start shooting this spring, with a release date planned for sometime late this year.
Marvel and Steve McQueen's 2013 Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave, doesn't sound like two properties that would have any sort of connection, but according to the number 3 story, now they do. The screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave, John Ridley, is developing a secret television series for Marvel. All we know is that the series involves the reinvention of an existing Marvel character. That's it, I got nothing else, let's discuss.
Our runner-up story tonight is, no surprise, Star Wars. More will come later, cue Bane voice. I don't know. Anyway, this Star Wars news is about the spin-off series, which are officially titled the Star Wars Anthology. Like Marvel, because we always have to talk about them too, Star Wars is releasing their information in bits and getting their fans pumped. Star Wars Rogue One will be the first film of the anthology and has just released their plot details at the recent Star Wars celebration. Apparently, the film is about, quote, a rogue band of fighters come together to steal the Death Star plans. The film takes place in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, but follows more closely to A New Hope. Director Gareth Edwards also said it's going to feel like a war movie and emphasize the wars part in Star Wars. This darker, more edgy, less Jedi of a Star Wars film is planned to be released December of 2016.
Okay, so usually we don't talk about trailers on this show because it's a tricky thing to do when you can't really use the video, although it's legal for us to use your videos, Fox and Sony. But there was just so much we needed to talk about this week that we couldn't avoid it. Star Wars The Force Awakens gave us our first extended look at possibly the most anticipated film of the last 20 years. Another contender for that title is Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, which we got our first tease of as we stand almost a year until release. Ant-Man, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World are all much closer to dropping, and the latest trailers are not shy in revealing premium footage from those films.
I'm Jay Kensler.
And I'm Andrew Ojay. Keep that seat warm, everyone. We'll be back soon, unless you have Internet Explorer, in which case, get with the times, man.
Yeah, really.
Lil Wayne had an interesting start to his week. The rapper was traveling through the Atlanta area yesterday, coming back from a Saturday night show, when 2 of his tour buses were hit by gunfire. Nobody was injured, but Lil Wayne was in fact on one of the buses. Witnesses say that the gunfire came from 2 white vehicles. TMZ is reporting that Weezy and other Young Money executives were also on that bus at the time of the shooting. The rapper is known for his excessive use of racial and sexual profanity.
The amount of botched burglaries that have happened throughout history are beyond counting, and some of them make us laugh. But this burglary story claims the prize as one of the funniest. A man attempting to rob a home in San Francisco on Thursday got sidetracked when he realized he was hungry and decided to make himself some tater tots and then take a nap. The owner of the home came home and found the man asleep on her couch in the basement, so she called the police. The man was later arrested when he tried to flee from the scene, proving that even as a burglar, you simply can't fall asleep on the job.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to our second to last show. Tune in next week for the last show of the semester. I'm Brooke DePalma.
And I'm Dylan Gordon. Good night.